Hello students, welcome to another session of All Force e-learning program. I am DNR, your physics lecturer. So we were doing with chapter vectors. Now in today's session we shall talk about the laws of vector addition. So vector addition will obey certain laws. So what are the various laws it obeys and how does it obey? Right, we will take up the proof of that, all the things we will study. So before going to that, let us recall the things that are necessary to understand today's topic. Like I was telling you, physical quantity, any entity which can be defined and measured is a physical quantity. Physical quantities are of two types, scalars, vectors. Scalars just mere numbers, no direction, but vector both magnitude and direction. They obey the laws of vector addition. So that is the thing today. Vectors are those quantities which possess magnitude, direction and obey the laws of vector addition. So those laws which vectors have to obey, that we will discuss today. Well, vectors represented by line segments, there are different types of capacity, there are different types of vectors, right? We have studied all those things. Addition of vectors by two methods, graph method, analytical method, triangle law, polygon law, parallelogram law. Then resolution of vectors, splitting the vector into components, two perpendicular components or three components, splitting of a vector into three mutually perpendicular components, so on and so forth. Now today let us have a discussion regarding the laws of vector addition. Now what are the basic laws? The addition of vectors we will obey. For example, let us consider two vectors A bar and B bar. This is A bar, B bar. Now the addition of these two vectors, I represent the addition of vectors as A bar plus B bar. Let this be called as R bar. So R bar is the addition of two vectors A bar and B bar. Addition resultant. Now this addition resultant first obeys the law of commutative. Commutative law. What is commutative law actually? Right? Law of commutation is, if there are two entities A, B, whether A added to B or B added to A combined with B or B combined to A, the result must be same. Commutation means it is independent of the order of combination. It's independent of the way you combine them. The order is not a matter. So law of commutation explains about the independence of the order there. So R bar is A bar plus B bar. So B bar is added to A bar. First I consider A bar. To A bar I will add B bar. Then the resultant is R bar. Let's suppose first if I consider B bar. Now to this if I add A bar, then if let's suppose the resultant is something S, we don't know, let it be S. Then I should prove that R is same as S. If R is equal to S, then A plus B or B plus A, whether B added to A or A added to B, the resultant is same. This is law of commutation, commutative law. You know, vector addition obeys commutative law. That is, A bar plus B bar and B bar plus A bar both are same. So, A bar plus B bar is same as B bar plus A bar. Both represents the same. Right? It obeys the law of commutation. You know, if any physical quantity has to, if it has to become a vector, if it has to be represented as a vector, it has to obey this law. Law of commutation is a must. A bar plus B bar must be same as B bar plus A bar. Right? Vector addition, laws of vectors. So any physical quantity, any quantity which possesses both magnitude and direction will not become a vector. Possessing direction is not the significance of becoming a vector. It's not possessing direction is not the qualification. It has to possess magnitude, direction, a unit, and it has to obey this. Then only any physical quantity is said to be a vector. A physical quantity is said to be a vector if it possesses magnitude, direction, a unit to specify and obey the laws of vector addition, the law of commutation, commutative law. So, A added to B or B added to A must produce the same result. Of course, please mind you, A and B should belong to the same physical quantity, same units please. Similar vectors, they must be similar vectors. A and B must be similar vectors. So, two similar vectors, whether I add the first to second or second to first, the result must be same. If it is same, then it obeys the law of commutation. Then it is said to be a vector. That is the reason why you understand, that is the reason why there are many physical quantities which possess direction, but still they are scalars. Example, time, current, pressure, surface tension. There are many such quantities which possess direction, but still they are scalars because they do not obey the laws of vector addition. They do not obey the laws of vectors. Despite possessing magnitude, direction, unit, still they are scalars. Even though they possess magnitude, direction and unit, still they are scalars because they are not obeying the laws of vector addition. Commutative law, they do not obey commutative law. For example, electric current. In electric current, I1 is equal to 3, current I2 is equal to 4, right? If the current comes like this, the net current is I, this is I1, this is I2, then the I1 is 3, I2 is 4, then what is I? You know, according to Kirchhoff's first law, junction law, right? Kirchhoff's junction law, this is an electric junction, you know, according to electrical junction law, Kirchhoff's first law, the algebraic sum of all the currents at the junction is 0. That is, all the currents reaching the junction is equal to all the current leaving the junction. So, the current reaching the junction I is current leaving the junction. So, I is equal to 3 plus 4, that is 7. It is always 7 independent of the angle between I1 and I2. Whether the circuit is like this or the circuit is like this, the answer is same. It does not depend upon the direction. It does not obey the laws of vectors. So, even though possessing direction is not the qualification of becoming a vector, all physical quantities possess direction are not vectors. They should possess magnitude, direction, a specified unit, and they have to obey the laws of vector addition. Then only they are called as vectors. You know, there are certain physical quantities. There are some physical quantities which possess magnitude, direction, different magnitude and different direction. Still, they are neither scalars nor vectors. They are termed as tensors. Right? In anisotropic mediums, there are certain physical quantities which have different value in different direction. They have got different value in different direction. They are tensor quantities: stress, strain, moment of inertia, density, relative density, refractive index, dielectric constant, so on and so forth. Many of them. In anisotropic medium, expansion coefficients. In anisotropic medium, they have different values in different directions. They do not obey neither scalar properties nor vector properties. They are termed as tensors. Well, it is beyond our reach, it is beyond our standard of learning there. So, whenever we are in need, we will talk about that. But at present, scalars may possess direction, but if they do not obey this, they are not termed as vectors. Vectors, they possess direction, magnitude, and they obey the laws of vector addition. Then only they are called as vector quantities. Well, let me prove how does the vector obey the law of commutation, commutative law. First law, laws of vector addition, laws of vector addition. So, out of which the first one, commutative law, that is A bar plus B bar is B bar plus A bar. Whether I add A to B or B to A, the resultant is same. Let us prove it by triangle law. Consider two vectors A bar and B bar. Let A bar be denoted by the line segment OA and B bar be denoted by the line segment AB. Then according to triangle law, if two vectors are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order. So I am taking the first vector, this is the initial point, terminal point. The second vector, this is the initial point, this is the terminal point, taken in order. The terminal point of the first is the initial point of the second. I am taking in order. Then the third side taken in the reverse order represents the resultant vector. So this is R bar. Third side taken in the reverse order, this is R bar. So therefore R bar is A bar plus B bar. Now let me take the same diagram the other way. Let me add B bar to A bar. So consider vector B bar. B bar. Let me represent this vector B bar as like this. You know, free vector, non-localized vector, any vector whose initial point is not fixed. When it is shifted parallelly, there is no change in the vector. The vector can be shifted parallel to itself without any variation. Non-localized, free vector, they are free vector. So B is free vector. If I shift it like this, so this is B. So let me name it as OC. So this is B bar. Similarly, shift this vector A bar from here to here. So this is CB. Now consider the triangle OCB. Now in the triangle OCB, OC is B bar and CB is A bar. Now B bar and A bar are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order. This is first vector B bar, whose terminal is connected to the initial point of the second vector A bar. So therefore, B bar plus A bar. Now two vectors are represented as two adjacent sides of a triangle. The third side taken in the reverse order represents the result vector. So according to the triangle OCB, from the triangle OCB, then OB is the resultant of OC plus CB. So OB, that is R bar is OC is B plus CB is A. Now from the triangle OAB, right, triangle OAB, then OB is the resultant of OA plus AB. Well, OB is R, OA is A and B. So R is the same whether it is B plus C or A plus B. So the law of commutation is obeyed. Commutative law is satisfied. So vectors obey the law of commutation. Commutative law of commutation is obeyed, satisfied like this. So all vectors, whether I add A to B or B to A, the resultant is same. First vectors, the minimum qualification of a vector is that it has to obey the law of commutative law. Whether I add A to B or B to A, the resultant is same. Any vector, the resultant will be the same there. So R bar, it is the same R bar which is equal to A bar plus B bar or B bar plus A bar there. Okay, right? Now, the second law of vector addition, the first law is commutative law. Now, the second law of vector addition is associative law. Associative law, law of association. Now, what do you mean law of association? Suppose if I take three vectors A bar, B bar, C bar. I am taking three vectors A bar, B bar, C bar. First A bar, B bar are added together, then later the resultant of A and B is added to C. Then the resultant is R bar. Instead of this, suppose if I take B bar plus C bar first, then add A bar to it, then the resultant is S. Now R and S both are equal. Both must be equal. So that is called law of association. So A bar plus of B bar plus of C bar is A bar plus of B bar plus C bar. So whether I take any combination, even this is same as A bar plus C bar plus of B bar. So this is the law of association. So whether you add this way or that way, the answer must be the same. So such law is termed as law of association. Associative law. Consider three vectors A bar, B bar, C bar like this. Let's prove this. Let's prove this in case of three vectors. Let me consider three vectors A bar, B bar and C bar. A bar, B bar and C bar like this, right? Then the first A bar is represented as two sides of a, the number of vectors are more than 2. So now I have to go for polygon law. For two vectors I use triangle law or polygon law. When there are number of vectors are more than 2, we have to use polygon law. So first let me denote the vector A bar as the vector OA. Line segment OA is A bar. Line segment AB is B bar. Line segment BC is C bar. Right? Now, so considering the order first let me take A plus B. So consider OA and OB. From the triangle OAB, OA and AB represents two vectors A bar, B bar taken in an order. So two vectors A bar and B bar are represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order both in magnitude and direction. Then the third side OB represents the resultant of A and B. Let the third side OB be called as some P bar. So P bar is equal to A bar plus B bar. That is OB bar is OA bar plus AB bar. So P bar is A bar plus B bar. Now consider the triangle OBC triangle. Now in the triangle OBC, OB is P bar and BC is C bar. Now OB and BC are two sides of triangle taken in order. You see, forget these two. Take this side and this side. These are the two vectors represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order. Then the third side in the reverse order represents the result vector. So the third side for this triangle, third side represents the result vector. So from the triangle OBC, OB bar plus BC bar is OC bar. So OC is OB plus BC. So what is OC? OC is R bar. R bar is OB, P bar plus BC, that is C bar. But what is P bar? A plus B. So R bar is equal to A plus B of plus C. A plus B of C. Right? Now this is the first this thing. Now let us now consider the other way. Take the triangle ABC. From the triangle ABC triangle. Consider the triangle ABC. In the triangle ABC, AB and BC are two sides of a triangle taken in order. B bar and C bar are two vectors represented as two sides of a triangle taken in order. Like AB is B bar, BC segment is C bar. Then the resultant, this is Q bar. So from the triangle ABC, right? Now AB line segment is B bar, BC line segment is C bar. So AC is the third side Q bar. AC is the resultant. So according to triangle law, AC bar is equal to AB bar plus BC bar. AB plus BC is AC. So AB plus BC is AC. That is AC is Q bar is equal to AB, that is B bar plus BC, that is C bar. So Q bar is B bar plus C bar. Now consider the triangle. Now take the triangle OAC. From the triangle OAC, you see OA is one vector A bar, AC is another vector Q bar. These are the two sides of a triangle taken as in an order. So two vectors A bar and Q bar are represented as two sides OA and AC taken in order. Then the third side represents the resultant vector. So therefore from the triangle OAC, OC is equal to OC is OA plus AC. So OC is OA plus AC. OA is A bar, AC is Q bar. So therefore OC is R bar. So R bar is A bar plus Q bar. But what is Q bar? B plus C. So R bar is equal to A bar plus of B plus C. So whether I take AB first then add C to it, it is the same R bar, or BC together and later add to A, it is same R bar. So the resultant is the same. The resultant R is the same whether I take this or that, the same resultant is obtained. So this way association, law of association can be derived for vectors there. So vectors, if a physical quantity is said to be vector, if it obeys the law of association also. So A bar plus B bar, when A plus B added to C, first A plus B, the resultant of A plus B is added to C, or the resultant of B plus C added to A, the final resultant is same. Even if the order is A plus C, a resultant is added to B, then also it represents the same. Take A and C together, this A vector and C vector together, then the resultant will be B vector. And add B vector to it, the resultant will be certainly R bar. So whether I add A plus B to C, or B plus C to A, or A plus C to B, the answer is same. This is called the law of association, associative law, right? Now the third law, it is third law of vector addition. It's law of distribution. Law of distribution, distributive law. First is law of commutation, commutative law of association, associative law, and the third one is law of distribution, distributive law. Now, what does distributive law represent? Suppose if there are two vectors A bar plus B bar, now they are multiplied by a scalar quantity K, then this is equal to Ka bar plus Kb bar, right? So a scalar K, a scalar quantity or a real number, it can be anything, a real number or scalar multiplied to the resultant of A bar plus B bar, then that is equal to the resultant Ka bar plus Kb bar. That is, first take two vectors A bar B bar, two vectors A bar B bar, the resultant is suppose C bar, this is A, this is B, C bar is A plus B, right? C bar is A plus B. If I multiply K to this, then it is K times C, right? So the resultant is K times C. If I take Ka, so this is Ka times Kb times, then the resultant will be Kc times. A multiplied K times, B multiplied K times, you get a bigger triangle. That triangle K times, B also correspondingly increases, then C also correspondingly increases Kc. This is Ka, this is Kb, then it is Kc. Right? So whether I take the resultant and multiply K, or multiply individually with K and take the resultant, the answer is same. First A bar B bar, first find the resultant A plus B, that is C bar, multiply K, this is the resultant Kc, that is K of A plus B. Or instead of that, first multiply K to A, then multiply K to B, K times B bar, then take the resultant, you will get the same result. So whether it is K multiplied to A plus B, or K multiplied individually to A and individual to B, then taking the resultant, the answer will be same. Well, or you can even take the same thing in the other form also. K1 plus K2 of A bar is K1 A bar plus K2 A bar. So whether it is one constant multiplied to two vectors, or two constants multiplied to one vector, well, the answer is a constant K, a scalar K multiplied to the resultant of A and B is equal to the resultant of the same constant multiplied individually to the vectors, and later the resultant is taken. So first to take two vectors A bar B bar, find the resultant, multiply K, that is a new vector D bar suppose. Then multiply in K to each vector, then take the resultant will be same. The resultant will be same. So that way, whether it is K of A plus B or K bar plus Kb bar, the answer is same. Similarly, k1 plus k2 times a bar. There are two scalars k1 plus k2 multiplied to a vector a bar. Then this is same as multiplying individually the constants and adding them both. Right? Even this is also correct. This way also you can take the resultant there. So this is called distributive law, law of distribution. Whether you add and multiply or multiply and add, the resultant is same. Multiply a scalar and take the addition of vectors, or first find the addition of vectors and multiply scalar, or first multiply the scalar then take the addition resultant, the resultant will be same. It is independent of the order in which. So the what is the thing, what do you infer from these things? Vectors are independent of the order in which you combine them. Whether you combine first to second or second to first, 1 2 3 or 2 3 1 or 1 1 3 2, the resultant is same. It does not depend on the order in which you add them. Order does not matter there. So in whichever way you add, you can take it. The other one you can write it as a vector added to 0 bar or 0 bar to a bar, it is same. A bar to 0 bar or 0 bar to a bar is same. And a bar plus 0 bar is same as a bar minus 0 bar. For null vector, whether you add a null vector or subtract a null vector, the resultant remains same, it does not change. When any vector is either added or subtracted with a null vector, there is no change in its vector appearance there, okay. So this way, these are the laws of vector addition. Putting them all together, first one is law of commutation, a bar plus b bar is b bar plus a bar. Second one is law of association, a bar plus of b plus c is a plus b plus c. Third is law of distribution, k of a bar plus b bar is ka bar plus kb bar. These are the major laws. Every vector has to obey these laws. Then only it is said to be a vector. Okay, right? Thank you.